In the last episode of Moonlighting as Dungeoneers, we left off in the middle of a battle with a creature lost to time inside Kenku ruins. Theo managed to somehow hold it pinned down with help from Ruby and Mari's magical enhancements. It clawed ruthlessly at him, while the others beat and burnt it into an eventually still and sizzling pile. After further examination, the creature appeared to be a sort of twisted giantkin, changed by forces unknown to become a mindless monster that feeds on flesh and regenerates. Everyone took a bit of time to catch their breath in the now still ruins. Mari insisted on documenting more of the ruins now that they were deemed safe. She was fascinated that the decorations seemed to depart from the typical Kenku styles. In the final room, beyond where they had been able to reach, they found ominous metal cages containing skeletons of various creatures. Whatever happened in the ruins was clearly atypical. The group gathered what remaining goods they could from the ruins and bandits, a bit of money, a broken greatsword, a magical longsword, along with a few other odds and ends. And finally, the group agreed to take what they had come for and leave.
You leave the remnants of the Kenku ruins behind, dragging the cart with you into the dimming light of the evening. You go a little ways back up closer to the road to where the other cart had been left, where it was a bit of a small clearing that you could set up a camp. You take the time to get things ready, set up, do what you need to. I don't know if anyone wants to do anything in particular.
I'm stressed after that fight. I'm pulling out my scarf and working on it.
I am going to ask Theo to watch out for me, and I want to see if I can go foraging for some herbs to try and restock supplies after the last battle. Just kind of peruse around the forest.
It's a bit wet, like the canopy gives you a bit of coverage from the rain, but there's still a little bit that drips through here and there. The ferns are wet and the bushes are a bit damp. You brush past them, but you can feel free to do what you want. Mari kind of gets a campfire going and starts trying to get some food prepped.
Right. So if you could, just like watch for any wild animals. I need to like look around for some stuff. I'm looking for a couple different mosses, and maybe a couple flowering herbs. If you could just, Mom always told me I shouldn't go out by myself. There was this one time with a fox. Anyway,
A fox?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
I won't let any squirrels sneak up on you.
Thank you. And so Ruby's just gonna kind of peruse around, and every once in a while kind of just like look back.
Okay.
Like,
you can see the campfire, the light of the fire, especially as it's getting darker. It's very easy to see.
Anytime you actually like stop to pick things out and be careful and take any amount of time more than like 10 seconds, Theo just approaches the nearest tree and starts like sincerely punching it. Like not like a little light shadow jab, like hitting the tree. Bits of bark are like flying off of the tree.
well, that will keep things away.
Occasionally,
how
you'll be
far
out
are
there,
you
you hear
guys?
thunk, 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 and you look over and you see Theo punching a tree, kind of. Do you have
And
a
the
torch out, like to see?
Yeah.
Probably not. I have
Oh.
dark vision. She might need one, but
Yeah. I mean, you're both.
No, we both.
You're
we're
both
fine.
but you might need it to identify.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the.
Yeah, Ruby's just kind of walking around with her
Okay.
hand on fire
Oh,
every
that
time she
makes
needs to
sense.
see
Yeah.
something. So
And so the tree I'm at changes because I'm following her. So then this tree gets a few bits of beating, and then that tree gets a few bits of beating. That helps them grow back.
You don't
more
wanna kill
evenly.
the tree.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm
I
not
look
trying to
at
kill
you
the tree.
marking our territory, and I'm like, yeah.
And after like a little while, like Ruby's like mostly collected everything she's looking for, and she just kind of stands up and is like, "So, can I go to the temple in Dumo?"
I mean, that's probably fine. I don't think that should be a problem. But yeah, I don't play well with those types in loose sport.
Right.
They don't know me in Dumos, I don't think. So that should be fine.
Okay.
You got everything you need then?
Yeah. Never mind.
Okay.
You just start making your way back to the camp. Mari is there. She's pulled off the crate that she'd been looking at the very beginning. Is opening it. She's starting to go through it a little bit, trying to see what's there, making sure everything's there. She'd gotten interrupted last time.
I pick a tree that is closer to camp, and this one gets extra beatings, and they get progressively more and more serious. Okay, he's hitting the tree harder and harder, to the point where at some point maybe the tree will fall over, depending on how big of a tree I found and picked.
After a few moments, Mari kind of like looks over and she says, "Can you not?"
I mean, I could not, but it seems important.
To punch a tree?
Marking one's territory is a very important thing.
Well, that too, I guess. But like, I don't. Up until this point, I've only ever hit people, and so, I didn't want to hit them as hard as I could. I was worried, so I'm not used to hitting things as hard as I can. But after seeing that thing in the ruins, I think I need to hit stuff all the way.
That's probably a good idea.
You mean you were holding back?
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to kill people when I hit them. Most of the time.
She kind of looks concerned now. Well, get over here, she says as she reaches into the box and she pulls out a small, like, silver raven figurine and then hands it to you, Theo.
Cute.
That's what your boss was looking for.
Oh. What is it? Does it do stuff? He kind of shakes it.
Don't. Just give it back to your boss when you get there. Don't break it.
It's made of metal, right?
It's silver, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Silver's
shiny
somewhat
bird.
It has a bit of a sheen to it.
Uh-huh. So does steel.
Maybe I should take it.
I'll hang
Theo
on
kinda
to
just-
it.
No. And he puts it in like his personal pocket, like on his person.
Oh,
Right, but really, silver is
Mhm.
kind of like soft, so like don't go like jumping on someone with that in your pocket. Right, you don't want to damage it.
Is it magical?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make it like tougher than most normal things?
I mean, yeah, but you still don't want to break it. It's still breakable.
Okay.
Should we know what it does?
If my boss wants it, might be better not to know.
Right.
If you want someone to hang on to it, you just let me know.
Right.
Zatara likes shiny things.
Sure does. And it's bird shaped.
She nods to a pile of other things that she's kind of laid out on this kind of piece of canvas, or what looks like the rest of a bedroll that she's just laid out. And she says, the rest of that, I think was their gear. You're welcome to it.
Is there anything shiny in that pile?
There's a brass locket.
Dibs. I snatch it.
There's a set of playing cards. It seems like a pretty standard wooden set that can be used for travel, something that's not going to get bent or too damp or wet. There's a set of dice. There, what looks like a bit of gold is laying there as well. Some coins, about 10 gold in total. There's a light crossbow and a case of bolts there.
I take the locket and I start spinning it on my finger. And as frequently does when you're not used to doing such a thing, the chain eventually works its way up her finger and just flies and shoots off into the forest. And I'm just like, well, that happened.
Ruby's gonna grab the gold and then just like hand 2 gold to each person.
What do I do with this? That's not edible, and it's not shiny.
Right, but remember, you use this to purchase stuff. So, like, if you want to buy
Right.
something shiny in town, you need this. Also, technically, these are kind of shiny.
I was imagining they were really tarnished, but they could be.
Right.
Bob looks at the assorted stuff and just kind of nods. And says, the more you carry, the more it weighs you down. Doesn't take anything.
She shrugs. There's also a couple bottles of wine in the cart
Oh?
if you want to break those out. And there's a keg of ale.
Do they have any more water skins?
I mean,
Maybe?
yeah. She nods to like one of the other the other packs that was just like other like mess kit.
How decent is
stuff.
the wine?
It's actually not bad wine.
I will find the fanciest looking one and pop the cork.
Okay.
And when Theo's not looking, which probably is going to involve a stealth check on my part, I imagine, I want to try and be like, Ruby, here, this is nicer stuff.
There's some tin cups like for drinking.
I'm assuming you would like a stealth check on my part.
I mean, Theo will say out loud if people are starting to break out the alcohol, just like, don't get too buzzed. We're still in danger out here.
Shouldn't be too bad. We're not far from Dumosh.
Well, that's what these folks thought.
True, she says.
I think I'm okay. I will take their extra water skins, though. I would kind of rather use that than my drinking water.
Ruby, you hear something in the forest. It sounds like chainmail.
Everyone quiet. Everyone quiet. I hear something. It sounds like metal.
And as you kind of pause and you look for a second, a dozen torches just come to light in the forest. And you hear the sound of weapons being drawn. You hear the sound of armor moving, and a couple people step out into the light to be seen. One of them's a 6.5 foot tall copper dragonborn in plate mail,
Oh no. It's a bit intense.
wearing black and gold armor.
Black and gold. Black and gold.
Mm-hmm. Black and gold armor on him. Beside him is a young man, probably at early 20s, late teens, with like curly red hair, pale complexion, lots of freckles, wearing half plate, with silver and gold.
Like that's the heraldry on his
Yeah, that's a
armor.
heraldry. It's 6 silver shields on, like, the crest that he on his shield is 6 silver shields with a golden sun. And
I'm going to hiss, like
he's-
literally hiss
he's-
loudly at them and tell them to respect our territory and to go away.
and around his neck he's wearing an amulet, a holy symbol of Lathander.
So Tar,
As-
hold on.
They kind of you hear them start shouting like, "Who are you? Like, what are you doing out here?"
I'll kind of look at
Mari.
Mari.
Yeah, Mari
like,
kind of stands up like,
expectantly.
whoa, calm down, sir, she says, and they kind of glance her up and down, and
We all know telling somebody to calm down is super effective.
and you look around, and there's like 25-ish people around you in armor, in full like battle gear. As Maria's like, I'm a member of the Society of Ancient Artifact Retrieval. We're here looking, as she kind of gestures to the broken cart, we were looking for a missing shipment, or a missing caravan here. And he kind of, the Dragonborn, clearly the leader, kind of narrows his eyes and he looks you all up and down, just very carefully as he
I glare at him.
kind of lifts his hand as the weapons start coming down from everyone.
Bob puts a calming hand on Satara's shoulder and just kind of a little tiny bit of restraint.
Maria says, I didn't expect such an aggressive or hostile encounter with a patrol. And he says, well, we didn't expect anyone out here. Roads have been fairly clear of late, but he looks at your cart and everything, and he looks a bit suspicious of you guys. He says, things are dangerous right now.
Yeah, tell that to our fallen comrades.
What happened?
And
He
the
asked
thing we
urgently.
killed in the cave.
There were some bandits, and they attacked the caravan that we were looking for.
Bandits? Just bandits.
Well, that is the assumption. We didn't really find... They're all buried here. And I point at the headstone that we made over in the by the woodside.
Kind of nods and not what we're looking for. He says you should probably try to get back to Dumost as quickly as possible.
What are you looking for?
Takers raided a village a few weeks south of here. They've been spotted on the countryside.
Oh. The bodies that we saw in that thing, they were definitely not.
They were not takers.
Yeah, they were definitely just like basic
Yeah, they were
bandits.
like highwaymen.
Yeah.
Takers are generally, they're heavily tattooed. They're wearing a lot more furs and hides, thicker clothing for the cold that they come from. And
Sort of like Mongols.
yeah,
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that is disturbing. I mean, we are headed that way.
well, you should get moving as soon as you can. I would not spend any time out here, as little time as you can.
As in, we should walk through the night?
If you can. He says, we're heading north to warn some of the other villages. Keeping a route swinging wide. There's a few other patrols out. The gates will probably be closed, so you may want to wait at least until morning to reach Dumost.
That was the plan. I think, right, Murray?
Mari kind of nods, and she looks a little bit paler, a little bit more scared
Sure.
at this point.
Right.
I'd offered to escort you, but we need to get moving.
Yeah.
We thought you might be a camp of theirs.
And Ruby just like looks at herself and is like, rude.
We saw fire from the road.
I guess so. Maybe we'll diet down a little bit.
You might want to keep yourself as hidden as you can. He nods to some of the others so that they kind of start heading back towards the road, leaving you guys to your camp.
After they've gone,
Yeah.
kind of turn to Mari and be like, how long will it take us to actually get to Dumost?
If we try to drag the cart, it could take us a couple days. If we just take what we need, she nods to the crate and walk. I mean, it'll be heavy, but we can probably get there by early morning and after one more night.
Is there anything else of value in this cart?
Yeah, how much is this cart worth?
I mean, the cart itself. I mean,
No, the
No, the
contents of the cart.
she says most of that is just tools, gear, stuff we can replace if we need to. Most of the important stuff is in that crate.
Since Bob counts as a large for carrying stuff, does it look like he could carry that
Yeah.
crate?
Yeah, he
Okay.
could carry it. It's just it would still be
It would be heavy,
and
right.
you're carrying a box
Sure.
the whole way. It's not like you can settle it on your back or anything.
Could we try and make like a sled type structure to drag it on top
I mean,
of something
we already
else?
have the cart.
Yeah, but
Just
the-
unload everything on the cart other than the crate.
We could.
That maybe is the best bet.
Mari starts putting out the fire.
Yeah.
Do you want to just leave now then?
I need to rest.
I'm very, very spent.
I can keep a lookout.
I guess maybe it's worth just going through the stuff here and just making sure we've got everything of value. Right. And so Ruby's gonna start ritual casting detect magic and then start going through every single thing in the cart and making sure we caught everything. And when she is satisfied with that,
As you do that, Bob's going to help you unload the stuff that isn't necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, just like toss that.
You know, all of the magical stuff is in that box that she had. There's a blue sapphire in there that's glowing, a horn. There is what else is in there that's magical. The bandit sword was magical. You do note a soft magical glow coming from Mari's backpack that you didn't notice earlier when you done detect magic.
Sneaky.
Ruby's just gonna tuck that one away.
But that's the only magical thing. Everything else is you kind of look through the crate too. She doesn't stop you from looking through it. You see like a bag of gems, some jewelry pieces that from Kenku.
Shinies.
Yes, but they don't belong to you.
So
Ownership is not a huge quality amongst the Fae.
Yeah.
I see it. It's mine.
Any pearls in there?
keep what you can hold.
Yes, actually, there is a pearl.
There is a pearl.
They would
Log
notice
that away.
one pearl missing.
Just log it away. I'm not taking anything,
Mhm.
just in case.
I mean, most of it you probably don't. If you just distributed it, you could probably all put it in packs. Like, there's not a lot there.
Yes, let's do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, any of the like
Bob has a
things
big
that
pack.
are monetarily worth something, if I can carry it, I'm going to.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, all of that could easily fit in packs. You probably
Yeah.
don't even need the crate
Cool.
if you distributed it. So you probably don't even need to take
Let's
the
do
cart.
that then. Yeah.
Good plan.
Mhm.
We'll just stuff it in our packs.
So what do you hand me?
I don't know. Whatever. I do intentionally try and take the things that are of most, like literally worth the most gold.
So there's the sack of gems. There's this big blue sapphire that's probably about like this big around.
That seems worth a lot of
It's
gold.
magical.
It
The
seems worth a
softball
lot of gold.
sapphire.
Yeah, it's about softball size.
I'll take that.
There's a bejeweled golden bracelet and a bronze crown as well.
I mean, the bracelet seems worth like a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll take that and put it in my backpack.
I will take the bag of gems and the horn.
Okay.
Put those.
The horn is magical.
Bob doesn't take anything.
Okay.
Just anything else that needs carried that is heavy. He doesn't really care what the value of any of it is. Just whatever else needs carried goes in the pack.
You get the bottles of wine. Satara.
Neat.
And he takes the ale.
It's just a small keg, like
Right.
a small 8-gallon keg.
he pulls the bung out and just upends the whole cask and takes a big long drink and then just puts it, now it only weighs about half as much.
Mari says, I suppose we should probably keep watches then.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
I'm fine. I can go first.
I'll take last watch. I'll finish the poultices in the morning.
All right.
I will take watch after you.
All right.
Mari lays out her bag and crawls into it.
Ruby
I get like 4 more punches into a tree while everyone's settling in.
Mari glares at you.
Don't attract predators.
This warns predators away.
Maybe not these ones.
I'm gonna go in one of the trees you punched, right next to where like your punch outlines are. I'm gonna take my primal savagery claws and just eat away through a part of the tree with the acid to leave my mark as well and add to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I'm not a druid.
Very effective.
He'd be mad about all the damage you guys are doing to the trees.
They'll be fine.
It's just the outsides.
You stay up into the night. It's dark. You can still hear the rain kind of dripping onto the canopy. Get a wet here and there a little bit. It's a little cool, but not too bad. But you don't catch anything. Nothing. You don't hear anything in the distance. You don't hear the sounds of anyone else moving through, just the standard sounds of the night.
Okay. Eventually wake up Bob, try to settle
Mhm.
in myself.
And the same goes for the rest of you as you kind of cycle through, a bit on edge from hearing about this. You all know, maybe not you as much, but you all know what the Takers are. These people that, barbaric people that are willing to do whatever and take whoever. And they are raiders. They are terrible people and very dangerous. They usually run with giants or ogres or large monstrosities as well. And the military, the guards of Calendril don't take them lightly. They're always on guard for them. But they don't seem to appear this evening. You all get your long rest, restore your spell slots, restore your resources.
How many healer's kit recharges will you let me have scavenged and then been working on?
Make a survival check really quickly. Or nature, whichever one you'd prefer. You can add the herbalist proficiency to it as well. So
22?
22. There's 10 charges in a kit?
Yeah. I'm down 3. right
Okay.
now.
You can restore 2.
Okay.
You gather your things. Mari tries to pull some branches and trees and stuff to kind of somewhat camouflage the wagons.
I
Maybe they
might
can
be able
come
to
back
help
and
with
get
that.
them later, but she doesn't want to spend too much time trying to drag them. Murray says we should probably move quickly.
Agreed. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. And you set off at a quick pace, making it back to the road and then heading south. As you're walking along, Mari just simply says, when we get there, we can still get horses to ride back. At least if we encounter something, we can ride away if we're on horseback.
I can't ride a horse.
Most horses, I don't know that me and big guy over there are gonna do too well on most horses either. We might need like proper war horses. Is that in the budget?
She sighs.
I can run pretty fast.
We'll see when we get there. We'll see what we can find.
All right.
Perhaps a wagon.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
can't run away with a wagon.
A carriage?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Satara does laugh at maybe a wagon.
I mean, if we get the horses and we can't ride, maybe we can bring the horses back to the wagons instead of having to drag them to Dumost.
That sounds like a good idea. Overall, I would feel better if we got to the city behind the gate until at least they figure out where the raiding parties are at.
Yeah, it'll be nice to also have a roof over our heads for at least a night.
I still say we go that way. Let's go! And Ruby just starts walking.
It's this way.
Let's go!
Bob actually laughs.
Mari follows along, trying to walk quickly, setting a good pace to head towards Dumost.
So, Mari,
Yes?
you said that you know this
Endaro?
Endaro? Oh,
Yes. I mean, I know his works. He's known in the courts and in the noble councils of Calendril.
So, no localized place where maybe he could be found?
His shop is in Ardraport, though he frequents Looseport.
And that's near the ocean, right?
Ardraport?
Yeah.
Yes. It's on the south coast. It's actually one of the... it protects the causeway to the Wild Cape.
I need a map.
Mm-hmm. Do you say... Is that what you say?
Yep.
Well, I don't have a map on me, but I can show you when we find one.
Excellent.
I mean, you can easily take a boat from Looseport down to Archerport if ever you need to.
On the water?
Yes, that's where boats go.
Can't I walk there?
It's quite a walk.
I see.
It'll-
She just looks a little bit crestfallen at the thought of having to get on the boat.
Boats are generally quicker and easier. And safer.
But water?
Until you find pirates.
Yeah, there's not too many pirates around here, at least.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
That seems like the thing that you say when you want to guarantee that you get pirates.
See? She knows.
And Satara just perks up like she got your approval. That might be the first time.
Bob's just behind and
Yeah.
taking up the rear, just shaking his head real slow.
Ruby is walking with her water skin out, and she's just been holding it, and she's just been going.
You okay over there, Ruby?
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Get what?
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna be fine.
Like this, and I just come over and just swat it out of your hand or attempt to.
When you do that, she goes no, and then the water freezes in the air and just stays there. I did it! I did it! I did it! And then she like picks up her water skin and just yes, and continues walking.
What happened at the
The water. So yeah, as she like knocks it out of her hand, Ruby caught the water essentially, and it just like floated in the air for a second, and then she grabbed the water skin and funneled it back in.
Ah.
And she corked the water skin.
That's a nice trick.
I had a feeling that I could do that, and so I was trying for like the last 20 minutes, and it like was not working. But apparently, I just needed a little push.
So you just need like feelings, and that's how magic works?
Apparently, yes.
Not really, Mari says.
Hey, Bob,
Theo looks real thoughtful.
I
for a
bet you
minute.
can push really hard. Why don't give her a nudge?
No, we're good. We're good now. We're good now. I figured it out. I can probably do it again now. And she uncorks the water. Yeah. Works it back, puts it on her. And she's like, she
You're
looks
a water
very,
bender
she looks
now.
very proud of herself. Just
I
like
can push you again if you ever need that.
right. I mean, thanks for the offer.
You hear the howl of a wolf in the distance.
It's like midday right now, right?
Yes. Followed by a second, and then a third, and then a fourth. It's pretty far out there, like not close to you at all, but like you can hear wolves out.
Bob sniffs the air
And they're
like he's
kind of
trying
in
to smell
different
them.
areas.
Is that wait,
Mari
they sound
kind of perched-
disjointed?
No, it's multiple wolves, like
Right,
from
but-
different areas. Like a wolf pack that's hunting.
But sure.
I have a question. So, with having grown up in the Feywilds where it's not necessarily a safe place, can I try and ascertain how far away that sounds like it is?
It sounds pretty far. It sounds like they're very faint in the distance.
Does it just sound like normal howling, or is there like a tone difference like that might indicate that it's not a run-of-the-mill wolf since they don't usually hunt at this time of day?
They sound like wolves.
Okay.
After that, the chorus of wolf howls. Theo just goes, anybody feel like a jog? I feel like a jog.
Mari's like,
yeah.
I can jog.
Let's go.
And you start jogging. The howls kind of fade for a moment. And,
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so I've never tried using it in this manner. Prestidigitation can make sense.
Yes.
I want to try and get a feel while we're jogging for where the breeze is, where it's going, and I want to be using prestidigitation to layer our sense on the wind to send it a different direction.
I don't know if prestidigitation will last that long.
Which
only
is why
like-
I'm
yeah.
continuously redoing it. I'm just trying to muddy our scent a little bit.
Okay.
I don't expect it to be super effective. I'm just trying to get something.
Could it mask our scent?
No.
I don't.
It
I
can
don't
make
think
a
so.
smell.
I think it can make a smell. I don't think it can clear a scent.
Yeah.
And that the duration of I'd be like, I can clear Theo's scent for
Mhm.
6 seconds,
That's a good idea,
and
though.
then
But you jog, trying to make your way as quickly as you can. Will all of you make an athletics check as you try to jog for an extended
Oh,
period
no.
of time?
oh no.
Bob's just lengthening his stride.
It's more of a long walk.
Yeah, he's speed walking, not jogging.
Are you sure it's not acrobatics?
It's an athletics check.
Bob, give me a ride.
You give me a ride.
I rolled decent, but that's gonna be
I got a
guess 17.
Yeah.
I take a negative on it, but I rolled really high.
It's not too difficult. You're not like a full out sprint for the whole day. You're jogging. So it is a bit of effort, but you can do it. Trying to make your way quickly down the road.
Bob rolled his ankle or something. He got a 5.
I feel like it shouldn't matter for you.
Hey, he said to roll it. I rolled it.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Actually, you should have it at advantage. You are a monk, so I'll give it to you at advantage for that one.
Thank you.
Is that a critical?
No, but it's a 20 total.
Okay, 20
so
total. Yeah. Just your long legs and the fact that you are naturally fast. It's not as difficult for you. You're used to kind of
I agree.
trekking. Yes.
Yeah.
Trekking. If it was one of these two and they rolled that low, that would be how it was. Or Mari, fine. It was fine.
Mari also have a low strength.
She gets a -1.
Oh,
Hey,
so that
join the
matches,
club.
that matches the rest of us. Sweet, high five.
But
Tiny lady party.
she has a +0 on her athletics. She has jack of all trades. This is Bard.
Oh, lucky duck.
Regardless, you jog for the remainder of for a while. Maybe not the remainder of the day. The wolf howls seem to fade after an hour or so. It seems like they were further north of you guys.
After a while, Bob takes Satara and Ruby's packs to help lighten their load because,
Yeah.
you know, he has plenty of carrying capacity.
Mari
Satara will
can-
hand you hers in a very distracted sort of way. She's still doing the scent muddying.
So about after an hour, the howls fade away. Mari kind of breathing heavily as she's trying to keep up. She's trying to stay with everyone, and she kind of looks at you all and says, "Should we just try to push through and see if we can get there tonight?"
I think that's a good idea.
How far are we from...
We're still a ways, she says. It's gonna be quite the jog.
Well, the gates will probably be closed if we're not there by sundown.
She looks at the sun and she looks and says, "We can try, but I mean, if we're desperate, they might let us in. Somebody will be guarding it at night."
That is true.
If we're desperate and we come in with something following us, they're less likely to let us in. I would not let monsters approach.
Well, either way, we'll be safer right outside of a city wall than
Yeah.
out in the open.
If we could take like 5-minute break though,
Yeah.
I'd really appreciate it, and then we can go again.
Mari takes a drink of water.
Theo barely looks winded.
Bob
Yeah.
is not.
Um,
Bob hands Satara a canteen.
And she takes like a big
if
gulp
you try to
and then
take Mari's pack, she does kind of like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, no, he's
You sure?
got
Yeah,
3
I got
already.
We need to move.
I know, I've got it. She seems very insistent.
All right.
I look at her suspiciously.
If you slow down, I'll have to carry all of you. That'll be way more embarrassing.
"I'm good. I'll be fine," she says.
Does she look fine?
She looks okay. She doesn't look any worse than you two.
Oh,
After a few minutes, you get back to the jog, heading along the road. Lunchtime rolls around. You just kind of grab from your pack something to just chew on or eat just to keep your strength up as you're
Bob
running.
pulls out a Cliff Bar.
An unnamed protein snack.
Right.
you mean.
It's beef jerky.
But if you wanted to talk to us about that,
And you swear again, you hear in the distance another howl, just far off. It's unnerving, and Ruby and Theo, even in the village where you grew up, you didn't hear wolves very often, and definitely not during the day.
During the break, Bob kind of just paces around the perimeter and sniffs the air and just keeps
You don't
vigilant.
smell anything. You don't hear anything else, anything close, and you don't pass anyone. And this is the main highway. You should be passing people. You don't see anyone else.
Maybe they are running too.
Yeah. Well, the last patrol said that the road was pretty much clear. So
Right.
Let's go.
How about
Yeah.
time to lose a shipment?
Yeah, Mari says. Oh, I didn't plan it like this.
well, maybe that's why they lost the shipment.
Bob looks at Zatara. Let's go, little one.
I don't like that. You're probably right.
I run over, and I can't really reach your shoulder very well, so I jump up, tap, and go, tag, you're it, and book it.
Bob's like, oh, ho, 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 ho.
I'm gonna lose so bad.
And takes off after her.
Mari's like, we should. Oh, gods.
Nope.
Bob,
They've got the right of it. Come on.
She tries to keep up, and you guys run. Pick up the pace, moving quickly. You run for a little bit before you move more to a comfortable jog, not wanting to burn yourselves out. It's more of a
Ultra
marathon.
Bob
than-
catches up to me very quickly, too.
Yeah,
Sure.
and it's more of a marathon than it is a sprint. As you make your way through the day, it starts to get dark, and the night starts settling in. You are too caught up in your own heavy breathing and the sounds of your own running to really pay attention too much to if something is following you or something's out there. But nothing close, at least, triggers you. But the night starts to get unnerving.
can
and-
everyone see? Or do we need to make some light?
I can see.
Bob, can you see? Mari, can you see?
I'm good.
I can see for a bit longer.
Okay.
What's the moon situation? Are we a cloudy night?
It's still a cloudy night.
Oh,
It's still
okay.
a bit rainy. The road's a little bit muddy, but not too bad. It's mostly damp than it is.
Bob just kind of tries to keep an eye on
Which-
the companions because he
Uh-huh.
knows that they can
Yeah,
see
if you stay
better.
close enough.
Which in many ways it's not. It's actually nice because it keeps you cool as you're running. It's not too warm until the trees start to thin as you run along, and ahead you start seeing the flicker of light, and up above, kind of through the tree line. And as it separates, you can make out a large stone wall with torches on top of it. Dumost is ahead of you. And as you break out of the trees, you start slowing down, catching your breath.
How close to sunset are we? It's
The
very
sun's
close,
already
right?
down.
Oh, I thought it was still setting.
Yeah, the sun's down. It is dark out. You're tired. You're winded.
Right, we should not go running up to the front gates. We should walk, and we should announce ourselves.
Yeah, we should get some light. Let them know we're here. That way they're not.
Ruby just like puts her hand up and it lights on fire, and she just kind of waves at the.
You see some of the torches move on the wall, kind of towards the gate.
Bob shouts, "Hail the gate!"
Bob, maybe you, maybe it'd be better let Mari talk, maybe.
You see the glint of like metal up on the wall as you start approaching it, and
Like
you
crossbow glint?
like helmets,
Oh, okay.
armor, and
Spears.
I'll do the same thing. Like
Yeah.
Ruby's kind of towards the front. I'll be towards the back with fire hand torch.
yeah. And as you approach, you start making out the shapes of people on the walls, and you see a good number of people on the walls with crossbows out.
Hi! We've been running for a really long time.
What? Who are you? Somebody shouts from
They're
a female
trying to
voice.
eat us.
Who? What?
Tara, what? Shut up.
As Mario's like, we don't know. We heard wolves. We wanted to get inside quickly, and somebody says, open the port, open the sally port. And the people sound urgent inside and nervous.
You guys made it sound like they'd let us in if we made it sound more urgent. I thought I was in the wrong.
Mario says, we ran into a patrol one of your patrols the other night, and they said that there's dangers out in the woods, so we wanted to make our way quickly. And so, yeah, takers have been spotted. And you hear kind of a click of some heavy bar getting moved from the door, and you see a smaller door on the gate open up, sally port open up. And they say, quickly, get inside. And
Following directions.
Yeah.
I will walk quickly. I don't think I have any more jog in me.
yeah, as you step inside, as soon as they see Bob kind of step in, you see a couple of the guards with spears kind of get leveled. They're letting you in, but they're still being cautious, right? They're not like, oh, these are just people. They're like, who are you still? They're still nervous. Leading them, you see a half-elf woman with blonde hair and green eyes, and a captain's cape and insignia on her shoulder. She doesn't have her weapons drawn, but the people around her have spears ready, and a little bit behind them are some crossbowmen. There's still people up on the walls as well. As soon as you step through, they close the door, and a pair of people start, lifting this heavy bar, blocking the door. All right, who are you? Mari says, I'm Mari, and these are my companions. We're members of the Society of Ancient Artifact Retrieval, and we were out on business at nearby Kenku Ruin. When we encountered and met some of your patrol, the woman kind of nods, looking nervous. Did anything attack you while you were out there? Were you being chased?
Before anybody else can talk,
Yeah.
Theo just goes, nope. We found some dead bodies, but we weren't attacked.
We heard wolves, though.
I look at you two in particular with a don't speak look.
I'm just like,
We're lucky we didn't run into anything, Mari says. We had to leave our cart behind. We weren't sure how the takers were this far north or not. Good call, the woman says.
Bob
Good
sees
call.
the additional scrutiny he's getting, and he just stands there with
as-
his hands apart, just not moving.
With the explanation, the guards relax a little bit, and they kind of pull their weapons back up, not leveling them at you, but not putting them entirely away.
Do you have any injured? We can offer services in exchange for safe passage. Thank you.
No, she says, we're all good as it is, but if you need a place to stay, there's a Green Griffin or a few inns further down on the main plaza. You might still be able to find a room. Not too many travelers out tonight or in the past few days. I'm glad you didn't run into anything. We're not sure what's going on out there, but we've heard a large group, at least a few ogres and a couple of giants with them.
I am tired and hungry.
Well, you're welcome in the city, as long as you don't cause any trouble.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mari nods and says, we appreciate it, and we're sorry to give you a scare this late in the evening. Well, Captain nods. She says, well, it is what we're here for. We're just keeping watch. At least it's easy to recognize the takers if they come. And they aren't likely to try their hand at a city like this. You should be safe. Rest easy. Even though you notice the guards are still nervous. Still a bit antsy.
Nobody else is resting easy.
She just trying to kind of put on a posture of an air of confidence for you.
how tall are their walls?
Their walls are about 30 feet in height.
So they could be a problem even for giants.
Yeah, a hill giant probably wouldn't be able to easily climb over. They would have to probably jump at least to reach the wall. An actual storm giant or a frost giant could probably just reach up and grab,
Vault
like,
it.
not vault it. They'd
Yeah.
still have to climb, but they could reach up and probably grab the top of the wall.
Ruby's gonna scan through and find the most nervous looking of the guard and just make direct eye contact with them and just be like, Don't worry. In the evenings, that means moonlight shines upon you. It'll be okay.
They kind of nod, and the captain says, hurry along, find a place to stay.
Thank you.
She nods, everyone back to your posts, and people start scattering. Mari says, come on, I know a good place to stay.
Okay.
Hopefully there's food. I'm starving.
Yeah, it'll be good. And you walk through the streets. There's a few lanterns and some lamp posts lit, but you don't see anyone else out and about this time. It's not quite past midnight. You're just approaching it. And you walk down the main row and go a little ways past a few blocks of houses before it opens up into a plaza. At the center of the plaza, you can see a fountain with a large bronze statue that can glints in the light of a knight. Heavy shield and lance as he standing gallantly astride his horse. Some depiction of a hero. There's a number of large buildings that you can see lit up. There's two in particular. One you note as a green griffin, sitting next to what looks like some sort of large stables and horse run. But Mari doesn't head towards that one. She heads towards one on the other side of the corner, which has a large open kind of front on the bottom floor, where there's a large awning that sticks out, which would cover tables that are right now just tucked tightly in the rain. But there's some sound coming from inside. You hear a lot of people kind of talking. Sound of music floats out as you approach it. She says, "This is Velen's Rest. This should be a good place." You see hanging from the sign is a depiction of that same knight that's in the middle. That's there, just kind of depicting it as its kind of emblem or sign. You hear someone singing from inside, a cello and a violin accompanying, and you step in. The sense of good food reaches your nose, the sounds of a packed room, people, almost every table full. You see at the very center of the room is in between these kind of four posts that make up a small circular platform stage. There is there's a half elf in a rich purple-tailed coat with bright bronze buttons and yellow floral embroidery. He's singing loudly and in a tenor voice, with a very uplifting song, tavern style song. And sitting next to him are two very attractive women. They're just sitting on the stage floor, their feet dangling over. One of them's a blue-skinned tiefling with wrapped kind of ram-like horns and auburn hair, wearing a blue dress and a black underbust corset. And then she's playing a cello, and next to her is a slim half-orc woman playing a violin, dressed very similarly as they kind of accompany this bard, essentially. That's what your eyes rest on first, but you quickly note as you look around the room that there's actually a number of soldiers in here. You see all manner of colors. You see the blue and gray of Ardraport, which you recognize, and other colors that you don't know, silver and gold, which you now sort of recognize from that red, the young man, the young priest that you saw. You see the red, you see red and gold. You see black and gold as well, kind of coloring with various crests and symbols all around. What look like squires, soldiers, attendants, just kind of filling in all over. And mixed with regular people as well. Mari, when she notes the man sitting at the standing there, she immediately turns to the side and starts trying to walk around to like skirting around the edge of the tavern hall to find an empty table.
Not a fan of him?
He's an asshole, she says. I didn't think he was going to be here. You find a seat. Very quickly, a dwarf man comes up to you, bald head, thick beard, quintessential suspenders, and white buttoned shirt. More well kept up than Theo.
I don't appreciate the shade. I do my best, okay?
He says, what can I do for you?
Food, please.
Yeah, I can get you something.
Also, rooms. Do you have any left?
Might be tight. You might have to share, but I can find you a room or two.
I will sleep on the floor at this point.
2, please.
You know, so I can find you 2 rooms. Sorry, a bit packed. I've been a bit busy. People trying to find places as they shuffle in with everything going on outside.
Yeah.
What people? I heard there were no travelers.
You just come in tonight?
Yeah, we just got here. It's scary out there. I'm really hungry.
Sorry, I'll go get you something, he says. And
She looks really
The rain
tired.
is like
Just
yeah.
She's looking
Wrecked.
that young age.
Yeah, she looks like a little kid who's just like really. There's not much left. Not much energy left.
as soon as I
Caked
have some
puppy.
food, I'm gonna fall asleep on the table.
Mari kind of tries to tuck herself into the back corner of the stall that you guys pick.
I'll like sit in right next to her, kind of covering her, but also trapping her in there.
Oh. She kind of puts the pack on the floor between her feet and like she tries to like huddle down and like be small. She's already a small woman, but she does try to be smaller.
See? I need to deuce enlarge.
So after the dwarf goes away to get our food and room situated, I'll kind of look at Mari and be like, "You're acting extra skittish in here. What's going on?"
She says, "Gregory?" She kind of nods over to the bard. I really hope he didn't see me.
Do you have a history?
Is
He
it an
wanted
exploit?
to have a history,
Don't worry.
she said.
Theo will keep him away from you. And Ruby just looks at you expectantly.
I mean, I'll do what I can, but
I'll lift my hands up and mime making claws. Be like, I can help.
men like that can be insistent in my experience. Do you owe money?
No.
Oh, okay,
I don't.
good.
She's like,
Does he owe you money?
she's like, I'm not. And she stops from finishing the sentence.
Okay.
What
No,
did you
he-
say his name was? Jeffrey?
Gregory.
Gregory.
Mari and Gregory sitting in a tree. K-I-S.
She kicks you.
Ow!
Didn't know they had that one in the Feywilds.
They have that one everywhere.
Everywhere.
Also, I heard some kids singing at once.
As a few minutes later, another server comes over bringing some food, lays out a hot loaf of bread, some butter, and some cheeses. And says, "This will get you going. Anything to drink?"
Wine.
Ale.
Water.
Water.
Mari says, "Wine." All right. And he shuffles off again.
I put a hand on Ruby's like a pat, like good job.
There you go.
Well, at least we're safe.
Are we?
Right, so technically the height of the wall is not quite higher than the jumping height of a hill giant. So technically,
Well,
They're not gonna bring hill giants inland.
you don't know that.
I'm hungry.
I try and remember if there's any ballista on the wall.
you didn't see any from where you were, but there were a few towers that
Sure.
along the wall. But you know,
Okay,
you're
didn't
not-
get the whole picture.
Yeah, you didn't get the whole
Sure.
picture. It was also dark.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
Right.
Bob,
I mean, it's
Bob
gonna be
reaches
fine.
forward and rips half of the loaf of bread off and puts the other half down and just starts stuffing it in his face.
Yeah. I will grab some cheese and some bread and just snack. Ruby like trying not to actively fall asleep, but she's very, very tired and just kind of.
I guess we will eat quickly
And head to bed.
go up to whatever rooms we've been allotted.
As you're kind of sitting there eating your food a bit quietly, there's a bit of chatter going on. People, the soldiers around all seem to be having their weapons at close. They're very nervous. And after a few minutes, the server comes back with your food, with the remainder of the food, a bowl of stew for each of you, some wine and water and drink that you requested. And then right behind him comes the dwarf who says, I've got you a couple rooms. As he says, 3rd floor, there'll be rooms 4 and 5.
Thank you.
Closest I could get to each other. The best I can do for you.
We really appreciate it. We really do.
He says, well, if you want to check in whenever you want to, as he puts some keys down for you. He says, we can talk about payment in the morning. He nods to Mari. Mari kind of nods back. And he leaves you to your dinner. A little bit winded, tired, safely out of the woods and in some place safe.
Inhales stew.
Same. Bob's just shoving the bread in the stew and then shoving the bread in his mouth.
Theo's kind of a little bit more. He's okay, and he's looking around. He's taking a careful tally of how many soldiers are in here. If Gregory's looking this direction.
As you look around, you note Gregory has stopped singing. The cello and the cellist and the violinist are still playing some different music, but he's walked over to the bar. He's grabbed a couple cups and he's walking over towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Theo and be like,
I will stand up from the table and just kind of
And Mari just kind of
stand-
sinks down lower.
and I'll just stand in front of the table. Like
as
he will
walks
have to
over
go
and
through
he says,
me.
And I'm gonna slide when Theo stands up. I'm gonna slide and I'm gonna sit next to Mari.
I'm gonna look at Mari and be like, how badly do you want him to leave, and will you
She's
play
just like,
along?
you don't need to. She's just, and she just like looks embarrassed as Gregory kind of
Bob just
approaches.
keeps eating. Bob does not care about
I'm
this.
gonna get up from eating. I'm gonna walk over to where Mari is, and I'm gonna put my arm around her and get very close, like we are intimate.
Mari gets very like awkward.
And I will whisper in her ear like I'm saying loving words and be like, just pretend.
Mari blushes.
Yes, good.
Gregory kind of approaches and he says, I saw you come in just a minute ago. He says in a very, very up and toity voice, an accent that I'm not going to put on because I'm terrible at that.
We're very tired and worn out from our travels. I'm sure you can understand.
Bob-
I say very meaningfully.
Bob takes his ale, which is just a normal size
Yeah.
ale, which is, small for him, and just slams it and holds it up and goes, another, please.
He looks at the cup and ignores it. And then he kind of glances past and he says, is that Mari's son-daughter that I see back there? And Mari kind of like shrinks even more.
I will reach out and put a hand gently but firmly, like kind of pushing him away from the table, and be like, I think you might be mistaken.
You note a few of the soldiers around the table kind of look like nearby, kind of look in like what's looking like to be an altercation starting as they eyes are starting to turn towards you guys. As Gregory is like, I'm not here to cause any trouble, he says. Mari's an old friend of mine.
You being here is the trouble.
And my empty ale.
He looks at you, sees how big you are,
Does it look like he's being dissuaded with Satara acting like they're lovers?
Not really with that, but the
He's like, I
intimidating
could go
look
with that,
of,
that's
of
fine.
Theo and Bob, kind of he sees he's a bit outmatched, and he kind of glances over at the other people now looking at him, and he doesn't seem like he wants to cause a scene. And he shrugs and he says, "Fine." He says, "Mari, if you get a chance, we can have a conversation. It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope all is well." And he turns and walks away.
But wait. My ale.
The dwarf comes over and he takes your cup.
2 more.
He nods and he says, "Thanks for not causing a scene."
I'm doing my best. Not my specialty.
Another stew, please.
He nods.
I'll pat Mari on the back and be like, "Good job," and then I'll go back over to my spot and continue eating my dinner.
Okay. But the rest of the night goes uneventfully before you head up to your rooms. They're just 2 small-ish rooms, only a single bed in each of them.
I'll take the floor, it's fine.
I assume Mari is bunking with the girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
She says, "I mean, if that's how it is, then that'll work."
Yeah. Well, you're paying the bill, so.
Mhm.
And Ruby will roll out her bedroll and also sleep on the floor.
I mean, the bed's big enough that we can share. She says,
Mari, you didn't even like my hug.
"I'm fine with, like..."
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
that was
about
more
it.
than a hug, though. That was a little...
That was the point. It was supposed to look like that, but it was still a hug.
Yeah, but I
Ruby
wasn't
just is giggling.
expecting that.
Neither was he.
Well, we'll just keep him out of your hair.
Mhm. Thanks. I do appreciate it.
Dio's very scary when he wants to be, so, you know.
The stairwell and the hallways and everything are scaled for normal people. So Bob's got to like hunch and kind of scooch. And then we get to the room and he's got to duck down in through the doorway. And he just kind of ducks down in through the doorway and just keeps going down and stretches out across the floor and falls asleep.
Yeah. I mean, the bed in there is large enough to accommodate like a Goliath. So it's like 7-foot bed, but still not big enough
Right.
for Bob.
Oh, more bed for me.
Yep. Mari doesn't take off her blouse at all. She's like the high collar blouse. She just takes off the cuirass and everything, her armor and stuff to get a little bit more comfortable. But she does try to keep the collar tight. And you notice that she does very visibly is like, it's almost like she's self-conscious as she does that and doesn't want to pull down or show any skin there.
Interesting. Log that away.
Uh-huh.
He has a lot of little.
I don't think Satar
Her log
would
page is pretty
necessarily
long.
Yeah.
notice. I'm
Yeah.
tired enough. I'm just finding
Yeah.
like a corner in the room
Yeah.
to kind of curl up in.
As Mari sits down
Throws
on
a
the bed,
blanket on the
you
floor.
really can. The bed's
Kneads
big
it a
enough.
little
that
bit.
you can
Yeah.
share.
Does
There's
the
space
spin
between
thing.
us.
Okay. I,
So I get
Don't
comfortable.
steal the
you know?
covers.
Gotta make a
I'm
nest.
naturally really warm, actually.
That's probably so true.
Yeah.
You don't catch the bed on fire, do you?
Oh, not since I was little. No.
I'm sorry.
The fire just they don't have wetting the bed. They
They
have
catch
settings.
it on fire.
Our sheets are
man.
fireproof because
Oh,
that's
Oh,
actually
they'd be so
hilarious.
uncomfortable because
That's
they're like those
awesome.
fire blankets that are so heavy and scratchy.
Yep.
and with that, we'll end